Date to your potential, inspiring, educating, and empowering single members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Our hosts are Peggy Matheson, betrayal trauma recovery expert, and Sharon Collier, certified life and relationship coach.
Welcome to episode 9. We are so excited to be doing episode 9. Woohoo! Woohoo, right? Today we're talking about online dating, some big do's and some big don'ts. But first, I want to talk about who you're actually putting out there, who you are putting out there, who you are. Because a lot of people put themselves out there before they're really ready. So Peggy, our trauma expert, is going to talk about a few things to watch for in yourself that maybe tell you that you're just really not quite ready, or there's some things maybe you're doing that you really are ready. So Peggy, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Great. Thanks, Sharon. This is going to be fun today. Okay. Still talking about your ex. If you're still talking about your ex a lot, then you're probably not ready to be dating.
We are not your therapist.
No, we are not. And if you're dating someone that's doing this and you feel like you're trying to coach them or help them or whatever, just be aware. Do you want to be in that position for a long time? Is that the kind of relationship you want? Just, And
it's not our job to help somebody through that. And even before I was coaching, this was a super common thing. I felt like I was somebody's therapist.
Yeah. And you know what? It's okay to listen, and it's okay to be a friend and all of that. Make sure that you're not being that coach for them. And the other thing too is talking about yourself too much.
Oh, yes.
I mean, I have a clue. If a guy reaches out to me and he speaks for like 5 minutes and he doesn't say anything about me, it's like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
And I think some guys are really trying to like show their peacock feathers or something.
Yes.
And I'm like, it's much more impressive if you talk about me and know something about me.
Well, ask questions. Ask
Yeah,
questions
and ask
about
questions,
me.
yeah.
That shows that you're interested.
Right. And also responding with something about me that you've noticed, either from my profile or whatever.
Yes.
So
Yes,
another
definitely.
thing is if they're easily triggered, that if somebody's
Okay.
easily
Yes.
triggered, they maybe you can tell them get upset about something. And for me, I know I look at it and go, wow, would I have gotten upset about something like that?
Well, right. And it's usually something that their ex might have done
Right.
is what I found. It's like, why are you angry? Why are you angry at me? I did, this is what I said and that, and this is what I meant.
Right.
And, yeah.
And it's not just at me, but maybe someone else.
Yeah.
Right.
That they're getting all heated.
Right.
I have noticed that.
Yeah. Another one is a lack of emotional intelligence. If people don't get social cues.
Oh, yeah. Everybody needs to look up emotional intelligence. Everybody needs to study very deeply emotional intelligence.
Well, it's now the number one thing in children that they find if a child is taught to be emotionally intelligent, he will or she will have success in their life.
Yes.
This is a big issue.
It's a big one.
It's a big issue.
It's a big one. We could talk about it for an hour, or you could go look it up and figure it,
Yeah. So if
it's
somebody's
like,
missing social cues, either in their interactions with you or with other people, that's something
that goes back to the quick to anger. The quick to anger people that just don't have control over their emotions, and people need to look up emotional intelligence and study it individually.
Yeah, and Sharon, you and I talked about when people say, kids, I have baggage. My kids, I have baggage. And how, what an awful thing that is. And you shared with me how you handle that as a single mom.
Well, first of all, I never would call my children baggage. And I tell people, do not call your children baggage because they hear you and they have feelings. I never called myself a single mom.
Oh.
Because I felt like people who called themselves a single mom, well, I'm a single mom, were kind of playing the victim. And I thought, I never want my kids to feel like they're a burden to me.
Oh, yeah.
In this journey, people would say that all the time. Oh, you're a single mom. It's like, well, I'm parenting alone right now. Because I was not victimized by my children. So when people act victimized by their children, I have so much to do with my kids, or I'm a single mom, so I can't do that, or whatever. I never did that. And my kids were well aware I never did that. So they always laughed if someone's like, oh, you're a single mom. I was like, watch out.
I love the way you frame that. That's a powerful way to frame your situation, not as a victim. And that's another thing that if you're playing the victim a lot, if you're like wanting to be rescued a lot, or if you see someone who's always, down on themselves, or they,
it's like it's not our responsibility to pump people up and to make them happy.
No.
But yet people put themselves out there in this world. It's like, I'm not happy unless I'm with someone.
Right.
And it's like you're really not ready if that's your attitude. Someone's going to add to your happiness. And, we've talked about that before, happiness and confidence, two most appealing things.
Yeah.
That
absolutely.
You can be as a person. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, as a woman, one of the most attractive qualities a man has is confidence.
Oh, yeah.
His confidence.
Oh, yeah. And then you can kind of tell when somebody's exuding true happiness.
Yeah.
We were just talking about a couple friends we have that are just genuinely happy and they're just fun to be around.
Yeah.
And it's attractive. And it makes them more attractive, I think.
Right. And if you're thinking about eventually you'd like to be married or partnering up with someone, then you want that quality.
Yes.
That's going to be so valuable throughout your life.
Yes, for sure.
Any other things about being ready that you've thought of?
Not while we've been talking. I'm just going to say it's super important to be working on it. If you're not there, it's important to be working on it, to identify where you're at. Because you do want to put yourself out there in a really ready way.
Because you're going to be more successful.
You are. You're going to have way better experiences. Okay, are we ready to talk about some online dating tips?
Yes, let's do it.
Yes, let's get to the meat and potatoes of
why we're here today.
Okay, number one, I'm going to say be completely honest, okay? You don't want to have to backtrack and say, oh, I just did that for my profile, okay? If you're honest from the get-go, well, just being honest in general, then you don't have to ever backtrack. But on your online profile, people want to make themselves better than they are.
It's like, for example, what?
Your height, your body type, your age. We're going to talk about photos next, but just... I dated several men who said they were much taller than they are, and they were my height. And so, it's like...
Very unattractive. When you meet someone and it is not what you expect because of what they put out there on their profile.
Yes. And one guy had photoshopped his pictures to the point I didn't recognize it.
Ooh.
He came and dragged me out of my car, and I thought I was being accosted by a stranger.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. No, this guy was standing at the end of the parking spot, and he lit up, and he came, and he swung open my door, and I'm like... How do I get to my phone to call 911? He did and this is back in the day when we didn't have filters and things, and he had literally photoshopped his picture.
Oh my gosh, he'd gone into Photoshop and done it.
And yes, oh yeah, like his dad belly was gone, his forehead was even bigger. Like he made himself an attractive person. So that was my worst experience. I did not run into that a lot, but men have told me the same stories. Men have told me absolutely the same stories where women have photoshopped, made themselves slimmer in pictures, or maybe the picture was just a selfie from up too high and all they were was face and cleavage when they were really a heavier girl. And
I've seen that.
And so just make sure that you're honest. There's nothing wrong with being honest. You are putting you out there. You're not putting somebody else. You don't want to put somebody else out there.
We're talking about a relationship here. If you want a real relationship, you got to show who you really are.
Right. So let's talk about photos first. Let's do only recent photos.
Can I put a fish in my photo? Is it okay is it okay? Or my dead cat because I loved her so much.
All your pets need to be on your profile.
Like, no, what if I just put a cat for my profile picture?
Wrong. We do not want to date. Nobody wants to date your cat, Peggy.
Aww.
We don't want to date Charlie Brown.
Or my dead cat.
No. We don't want to date 5 dead fish. We want to see a picture of you. And we don't care what you look like in high school. When we're dating, you can show us what you looked like in high school or on your mission or when you were Miss America or whatever. We need to see all recent photos. So we're going to say recent photos.
Like what's recent? Like a year ago?
Yes.
2 years ago?
Well, probably. If you want to put a couple pictures like that up that you thought were quite stunning, if you look the same, if your body type's the same, but no, put a recent picture up.
Within the last 6 months.
Men, I'm just going to tell you this. This is a hot tip. Hot tip coming in for men. we love a guy in a suit. When you're all fixed up for Sunday, have someone take your picture in a suit at a really good angle, not getting your chin, not your kids getting that angle, but have someone take a really nice picture of you at church, because everybody needs a full body pic.
Yes.
Right? We want to know, what we're getting ourselves into, at least one of those. And then let's address the dead animals. Don't use up your pictures. Don't use up your pictures with all your fish or your moose or your deer. Don't.
I mean, one picture of you hunting or fishing would be fine.
If you're in the picture.
If you're in the picture, yeah.
Okay, scenery pictures. If you want a scenery picture, you better be in it.
Right.
You better be in it. So I've come across several profiles that have had 4 mountain ranges. Awesome. But that doesn't tell me who you are. It tells me that you've been to the mountains.
I had a friend recommend this, that the guys don't show themselves in a swimming trunks with just their shirt off, and even if they have a really great body, and it's because women compare themselves to that and think, well, he's really fit, then he probably isn't going to like me if I'm not really fit. See, we girls are thinking of those things.
Oh no, and girls probably more than men, but no, the shirtless bathroom pics. I'm gonna address that one first. The shirtless bathroom pics, especially if your bathroom's dirty.
Oh my gosh!
Don't do those. No, we all make fun of those. We all make, just so you know, men, the gym pics and the shirtless bathroom pics, we all make fun of. If you want to be shirtless, I'm gonna tell you, you better be water skiing.
Right.
You better be swimming. If you want to put a shirtless, if you are in really good shape and want to put that out there, please do it while you're water skiing or swimming or doing some aquatic sport, because the bathroom and the gym are not the place to do it. We literally make fun of that. And then the last one is only you in the photo. And I think women are more guilty of this than men, where
that's what
there's a big, huge group of women. Well, I have to say, I have exceptionally good-looking friends. So the last thing I would do would be put a group picture up with me and all my attractive friends.
So the guys can compare.
Yeah, it's like, well, who's the cute blonde in your picture? I want to date her.
Oh
right?
my gosh.
So you don't want a group of or a group of people so that you don't know who you're actually looking at. It's like, well, whose profile is it?
Right.
So put just you. And you know what? Honestly, like Mutual, you get to put a lot of pictures up. And so use your best pictures, and make sure they're pictures of you doing what you like to do. I had a girlfriend who loves to travel, and so in the little travel spot, or maybe it was an I love to spot on Mutual, she put herself in front of the original Mayflower.
Oh, fun.
Because she likes to travel, okay? Make sure your pictures represent you and what you like to do.
It tells a story.
They do. Pictures can tell a story. So just keep that in mind. That's a lot of ideas for pictures. That's a lot of do's and don'ts.
And you know what? Get a friend to take some photos for you.
Yes.
If you don't have any good pics, be intentional about it.
Yes, and don't put up 5 car selfies. That was another one of my guy friends complained about. He goes, I get tired of looking at car selfies. The light is good in your car. That's great. Put one of those up.
Right.
But don't put all 5. So keep that in mind as far as photos go. Okay, when you're writing up the content, be creative. You don't have to use a paragraph. You can use bullet points. I've had a lot of good luck with top 10 things about me.
That's great.
And sometimes they're really not the top 10 things about me, but that's
they're
really
a variety.
It's a variety of different things about me, and they're in no particular order. I always mention I love Jesus. But yeah, so you don't necessarily have to use a paragraph format to introduce yourself, because everybody does that.
Right.
Pretty much everybody does that. And then, they put up what? I'm fun, I'm loyal, I'm smart, I love a good walk in the park, or I love a drive down the canyon. And literally, I just described one of my dogs. So you want to describe a person, not a pet. And
you know what? Can I share something that I
Sure.
put on? It's actually on my Facebook page. It's a picture that is my profile picture right now on Facebook, and it says, "Maybe it's time to take to the open sea and become a pirate queen."
Yes.
So something like that. And I've had guys reach out to me and go, "I have been thinking about that, and I just,
Yes.
I'm so curious why you put that, whatever, or something
Yes.
joking." But so if I put out something that's kind of joking, kind of fun, kind
Yes.
of imaginative,
Yes.
then and playful, then I feel like I get responses back that are playful, which is what I want.
Yes, and it helps start the conversation.
Right. I give them
Yes.
something to think about, something to play with, something,
Yes.
interesting.
Yes. So moving on, be positive and showing humor. There it is.
There it is, right there.
There it is. Show humor. Don't tell somebody you're funny. Don't put on there that you're
Oh
funny.
my gosh,
Just
no.
be funny.
Be funny.
If you're funny,
be funny.
Be funny. Just you say you're a pirate queen.
Right.
Be brief. I'm going to say be brief because you don't want to divulge your whole life story. You want them to ask questions. So like I could say, I'm from California. California is huge. So what question would they ask about?
I don't know.
Where in California
Right,
are you
yeah.
from? Did you live by the beach? Did you live in the desert?
Yeah.
I know people from the high desert. How far were you from there? So you can be vague and mysterious.
Oh.
Make you a little mysterious, but put things out there that maybe people could ask questions about.
I love that. That's great.
Yeah.
It's a great tip.
So on the positive thing, don't state what you don't want because that's not positive. That's not being positive. And it's hard enough out there for people to sit there and think you have a list of things you don't want, not looking for drama.
Anybody who says that, Sharon, I'm like, and you must have drama if you say I'm not looking for drama.
A lot of times, and we're looking at from the female to male perspective. I'm sure the males have tons to say about this, but I can usually tell what a guy's marriage is like from his profile.
What's like?
Yeah. It's like, okay, so I'm not looking for somebody bitter. I'm not looking for somebody, angry. I'm not, and they put this on there and I'm like, oh, I can definitely see what your marriage was like. So you don't want to do that. Don't say what you don't want. It's hard enough for us to be brave and put ourselves out there and try to reach out and connect. Okay, don't get too personal. This is along the same lines. Nobody needs to know your baggage. I've been hurt by love. No, nobody needs to know that. We all know that. We've all been hurt by love.
Right.
You're
not special that way.
Yeah. I struggle as a single mom. I struggle financially. No, you don't need to put that stuff. Your health history.
Oh, goodness, no.
Geez. No, I've put on weight because of A, B, and C. No.
Making excuses.
Nope.
Oh, no.
Nope. Divorce details, keep them off. Anything like that, just anything super personal like that. That's stories to tell somebody you've been dating a minute, Okay, don't state the obvious. I just dropped this one. Not looking for drama. Of course we're not. Loves to laugh. This is my favorite. I love to laugh and have fun. Who doesn't love to laugh and have fun? You're wasting words.
Right.
If you want to say you're a fun person, have a fun profile, or maybe use a phrase like, I'm the life of the party.
That's fantastic.
That's
great.
Yeah. So don't state the obvious. Okay, and this is Sharon's super tip number 1 for online dating, is end with a question. Make it easy for someone to reach out to you by answering the question. I like a good road trip. I use this as an example all the time. Everybody's like, we're tired of hearing about your road trip, Sharon. But, what kind of road trip snacks do you like? I like peanut M&Ms and red vines.
That's a great question.
And,
That's a great question.
Diet Coke. It's like, and somebody can pop in and say, I'd like to buy your Diet Coke and red vines. Or they can say, I never go anywhere without peanuts, or whatever. So just ask a question at the end. Maybe I like hiking. Where is your favorite place to hike? So some hiker is going to be like, oh, have you been at Big Cottonwood Canyon in Utah? Because that's the best place ever. So end with a question.
That's great. That is great.
All right. Moving on. I want to talk about safety, online dating safety, because I get people who tell me, wow, I haven't dated for 30 years and I had no idea. People had no idea people are going to put themselves on sites in a scammer type situation, in a dishonest way. And people like to tell me stories about how their mom got scammed because she fell in love with somebody across, overseas, and they got caught in customs and they needed $5,000 to come see her, So things like that happen all the time. So a couple of things to watch for as far as scammers go. If they ask about money, never in any dating situation, I'm just going to tell you, should money be involved until marriage is talked about.
Absolutely.
You start talking about marriage, you start talking about finances. It doesn't need to happen. And so anybody who asks about money that quickly online is most likely a scammer. And if they ask you to deposit money in your account and transfer it somewhere else, that's money laundering and you don't want to do it. It's a felony. So someone who says, I love you over chat, you've been chatting for a while. You have no idea if you have any physical chemistry at all. You have no idea anything really about this person, and they don't know anything about you. So saying I love you over chat shouldn't be a thing, just in general.
Yeah.
You've never met this person in person. You need physical chemistry. So someone that says that, they'll say, is it too soon to say I love you? And it's like, yeah, pretty sure it is. I haven't met you. Someone who won't get on the phone with you or won't do a video chat, if you're suspicious, that's always a great way to tell. It's like, hey, let's just jump on the phone really quick. Oh, I can't. I'm in the military and I don't have access to a phone. If they have a computer, they have FaceTime. So get them on a FaceTime or get them on the phone. Someone that gets mean or angry easily when they throw out advances and you say no is most likely a scammer. How dare you? They're trying to bait you.
Right.
People
they're trying to shame you for
yes,
not responding
People
positively.
with low self-esteem have a hard time being shamed and will come forward and do what they ask. And so that is one of their means of getting to people.
That's part of the protection, is not being that person.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
it's taking care of your stuff.
Yes.
If you've got a lot of shame that's driving you, heal that. Let's take
Yes.
care of that, because that will make you a target.
Yeah, it really does. Narcissists tend to target the low
Or
self-esteem.
controlling
Yes,
people.
yes, I know. There's many different levels of aggressive personalities.
Right.
And they do tend to target the people with low self-esteem because they get the furthest with them.
Yeah. So
And-
this is how you strengthen yourself and protect yourself from
Yes,
that.
and
to take care of those things.
And people that won't stick up for themselves are their targets. So, all right. When we're having our online conversations, let's talk about that. My pet peeve, my soapbox, is do not start out with hi.
Oh, come on, Sharon.
Right? It's the shortened version of hello. Like, you cannot think of something more clever to say than hi. It's 2 letters. Oh, or 3 if you put an exclamation point. Okay, you can tell. It bugs me. Do not open up with hi. Open up with something about their profile. Show a little interest. I love it when people ask questions about me. That says they're interested in me. They want to know. Oh, I see you're from California. What part? You know? If you want to say, hello, I see you're from California, that would be appropriate.
Right, right.
But pick something in their profile to talk about. And then say, hey, I'd love to chat later. Let's set up a time. Okay? So just make sure you don't start out with hi. Okay, next thing is keep it lighthearted. You don't need to ask anybody about their divorce. Nobody needs to ask you anything, personal. Keep it lighthearted and fun. What do you like to do for fun? Let's talk about that. I put on one of my profiles, I put that I did a belly dancing class.
Oh.
It was community ed. It was 6 weeks long. You want to feel self-conscious, go to a belly dancing class, but it was a great workout. Some guy popped in with that, what's up with belly dancing, anyways. And so we had a conversation about that. It was just really fun. So keep it lighthearted in the beginning. I always tell everybody, you want to check fun off the list first.
Yeah. What about the personality, the person who has a personality where they're not extroverted and they like to have fun, but it's not like their strength? Is there some kind of, how do they handle that?
So that's that can be a compatibility thing. Most most introverts want to have one-on-one fun.
Okay.
You know, and so it's like you come across somebody who's a little quieter, they're not the center of attention. That doesn't mean they're not fun. And that doesn't mean you can't find fun things to do together. Because literally, my husband and I would go on date night, and rarely did we do anything but dinner, and we'd go to Leatherby's and get a brownie with ice cream on it and share it. And we'd talk about the kids, or maybe we'd go shopping for the kids. We did not know how to have fun. And it's like, so take this opportunity when you're chatting, you know, when you're first dating, to check fun off the list. Make sure that you have the same kind of fun. That's my little soapbox about that one. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about is this. There's a lot of people who do not like to talk on the phone, and I'm going to tell you, learn to like to talk on the phone. After you've chatted several days, several hours, I don't know, whatever your time frame is, take it to the phone. Don't set up a date. You will save yourself, you will save somebody else tons of money. I have had the best time chatting with someone and got them on the phone, and they were the most negative human being I've ever talked to.
Oh.
The phone is telling. I coach on the phone.
Yes.
Mostly I coach on the phone because people are more honest. People tell you more when they're not looking at you. People are less nervous. Literally, I've saved a whole lot of men a whole lot of money by talking on the phone before we made the date.
That's a great idea. And also for me, it's like hearing their voice kind of tells me something about them. And if they have the kind of voice that's hard for me to listen to, that's a big, like, oh, that's going to need to be, I got to be able to listen to the timbre of their voice and how it sounds. That's going to be important too.
Yeah. But literally,
you know, it's kind of, it's like, it's almost like it's too old fashioned for us, but it's such an important skill, really, to be able to talk on the phone without video or anything.
Yes.
So I think that's a great thing.
It's just, I'm going to say it's a really important step in the process. If you're going to do the online dating thing, make sure you take it to the phone first. Because what if they can't have a conversation in person? It's like, if they can't have a conversation on the phone, if there's a lot of lulls in the conversation, well, maybe you don't want to go out with them. If you think you have to carry the conversation on a date, that sucks.
Well, you know what I did too? I remember a conversation I had with a guy. He wanted to go out, and I was like, well, let's talk on the phone first. And let's see if we really have a lot in common. And I'd actually met him in person, but talking over the phone, I realized, I said, you know what? I really don't think we have that much in common. You just save yourself a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of emotional, you know, energy by taking some of these very helpful first steps.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. I had a guy, I'm going to call him a woman hater. He was so negative. When I got him on the phone, he was so negative about women. It was like, why would I ever go out with you? But if I had made the date on chat, I would have gone out with the woman hater, you know? Yeah, well, you women do this, and you women do that, and all you women do this. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe we're not going out.
So that kind of goes back around to what we first started. Are you ready to date?
Are you ready to date?
He's not ready to date.
He was not ready to date. So I'm going to call that our discussion today.
Great. This has been a great discussion.
participating.
Oh, you know what? I wanted to say one last thing.
Okay.
This is the way I've thought of it when I started putting up my dating profile. So I'm an actress by trade from years ago. Now I'm a coach, and maybe I'll get back on stage or in film again. But it was a different skill set to go to the audition, dress right, look the part, have my lines memorized, present myself so that the director could see the character he wanted to hire me to play. I had to do that. That was a different skill set than actually playing the role and being in the movie or in the theater.
Yes.
It's a different thing. And when I started doing the online dating profile thing, that's the way I thought of it. And honestly, my profile on Facebook too, or LinkedIn, but LinkedIn's really more business. But yeah, and that's the thing is, I know that people can get caught up and go, well, they should just accept me as I am, and this is who I really am, and I'm not going to be somebody that I'm not. And it's like, no, present yourself in your best light, and that is a different skill set. So if you guys need some help with this, you need to be contacting Sharon, because that's one of her she's got so many great things, but this is a great way to get started is talk to Sharon first and get yourself out there in the right way when you get online, because it's a skill set.
It is. I actually have a $50 appointment to set up an online dating profile with me.
Woohoo!
On my website, lovingagaincoach.com.
Right.
Alrighty. We are going to wrap this up for today. Thank you, Peggy, for your input.
Thanks, Sharon. This has been great. Talk to you next time.
See you, everybody.
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed today's episode and that it inspired you on your dating journey. Please share this with anyone you think might benefit from what you've heard today, and subscribe to our channel. Check out our website at datetoyourpotential.com and take our free quiz to see if you are dating to your potential. We want you to know you are not alone. We support you. We are in this with you.